And welcome back. As of this Sunday, President Donald Trump has had 58 days in office. So we wanted to know how all of the headlines out of Washington are playing out here in the tri-state. For that perspective, we've invited Hamilton County GOP Chairman Alex Triantafilou and County Democratic Party Chair Tim Burke to join us today. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so obviously a lot of headlines out of Washington, a lot of proposals, a lot of executive orders signed. There's a lot of activity going on in this first 58 days of the Trump administration. Most recently, the president's first budget came out. And there is a little bit of chicken little, I guess you could say, with the response to this first budget. These aren't hard set numbers. These are just initial numbers that come out. But there's a lot of impact that could hit Hamilton County specifically. And when you were talking about community block grants and billions of dollars being taken out of communities across the country, what has the reaction been for your individual parties here in Hamilton County?
Well, Donald Trump continues to have a lot of support in Hamilton County. Of course, he lost the county, which I'm sure Tim might remind us about, but there's still a lot of support for him. What we're seeing in our perspective and from his supporters' perspective, of which I am one, we're seeing a non-politician take the reins of our government. He is untraditional in that sense, but a man of action. I mean, there's continually something happening there and continually pushing. So on this question of budget, the one good thing about Donald Trump, I think from a government perspective, is he's a deal maker. So he will be trying to make deals here and maybe even deals with Democrats. And I think the American people are frustrated with the same old thing in Washington. He's certainly not that.
What's particularly frustrating about Donald Trump is his disconnection with the truth. And some of the stuff that he is saying, whether it's accusing Obama of wiretapping him or claiming to have gotten the highest percentage of votes in the Electoral College, just things that are objectively untrue. And he presents those to the American people as if they are true. So it's very hard to judge. What he has done for the Democratic Party is excite our base in a way that I've never seen it excited before. We've got new people getting involved in the Democratic Party. Since the election, we've formed new Democratic clubs in Terrace Park and Marymount, and they're getting dozens of people out in those Republican areas who are very concerned about what they've seen from Donald Trump, and the budget is just another example of that.
Obviously, you know, it's going to take time for the budget to run its course, but when you talk about party lines, there was a lot of excitement that, you know, Republicans control pretty much everything in Washington, but there are a lot of Republicans that aren't sitting there next to Donald Trump when it comes to President Trump, when it comes to the repeal and replace of the what's known as Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and some of the changes that are proposed even in that, it's not down party lines. And senators here in Ohio are speaking out saying, maybe we don't want to necessarily make those choices. Again, you talk about this deal making that the president has, but not everyone's on board.
We're a party of diverse ideas. People are seeing that. I mean, those of us in the party, leaders in the party specifically, we've had a hard time sometimes piecing together the various factions within the GOP. Those didn't magically disappear because we've had success, and we have had success, not only here in the state and nationally, but across the country in various governorships. On Obamacare, the one thing that's most interesting in this debate to me as an observer is no one is in a full-throated defense of the current structure. We all agree what we said was right about Obamacare. It's collapsing, it's failing, just as Republicans predicted, which is why we didn't support it in the first place. That sometimes gets lost in the debate that we were right. You know, it's nice to be able to say that sometimes in politics. The bottom line is, though, we will work through this, I think, as a party. We're going to have to fix and repeal Obamacare. Personally, I'm a conservative guy. I'd like to see a full repeal sooner rather than later. But as a Republican leader, I think the various conversations we're having inside our party are healthy for ultimately delivering a fix to what was a failed piece of legislation.
But when you're looking at 14 million people losing their coverage under what is proposed right now by the Trump administration, isn't that concerning?
Absolutely, it is concerning, and I'm disappointed to hear Alex say that he's in favor of a full repeal of it, because it's only 14 million people if you do the replacement that they are talking about now. If you simply repeal Obamacare, it's millions and millions of people more. And that ought to be disturbing to everybody who's concerned about the health of the American people.
When we fix what they broke, very frankly, that's not going to be the situation. These day-to-day conversations are all part of the ongoing negotiation. And of course, the other side is going to throw fear at everyone about this. Donald Trump made a promise to cover everyone. I think when this thing is all finished and we fix Obamacare, which desperately needs to be fixed, that we're going to have people covered.
Except what President Obama is talking about right now and trying to defend is a program that clearly does not benefit everyone.
The local races. Let's switch quickly. In Hamilton County, obviously, if we talk about Cincinnati, we have a mayoral race coming up. No Republicans in that race. Is this something that's part of strategy? I mean, moving forward,
You'll have to ask him why there's no Republicans in the race.
Right. Well, you know, we were looking for a candidate for mayor. This city went 77% for Hillary Clinton. It makes it hard for us, for somebody to actually think they have a chance to win. John Cranley is certainly more conservative than his predecessor and more conservative than his current opponent. So collectively as a party, we didn't have anyone who thought they had a realistic chance to defeat Mayor Cranley or the other crop of Democrats. So we were without a candidate. We have candidates, though, in all the surrounding communities, in those places where we have strength.
We have 3 progressive Democrats who are running. One who is the mayor who is running for re-election. And that's who I support, and I've made that very clear.
all right, run for governor. Any predictions? The different names have been tossed out there. Some have actually thrown their hat already in the ring. Of course, Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor. Where do you see the governorship in Ohio the day after the election?
You know, I think we're going to continue to be in good shape in Ohio. We saw a resurgence of people going into our party because of Trump's candidacy. You know, this almost 8 percentage point win from Donald Trump in Ohio makes it, you know, gives us great hope that we can continue that momentum. We've got 4 really good people running right now. We're going to have to sort through a primary on our side.
And we will likely have a primary on the Democratic side as well. And in fact, 2 of the primary candidates could very well come out of Hamilton County. Connie Pillich will very shortly announce her candidacy for governor. 4 years ago, Todd Portune became a candidate for governor for a while. I don't know whether or not Todd's going to do it again yet. He hasn't made that clear, but certainly Connie Pillich is. And the mayor of Dayton, just up the road, is expressing an interest in it as well.
All right, we'll continue to follow all these issues, of course, and we'll have you on more and more as we continue the election cycle. Thank you both for joining us today. And This Week in Cincinnati, we'll be right back.